Hello and welcome to Auspol Explained. I'm your curly hair host, as always, David, and I'm here to explain how the Australian political system works. Today's topic is the Referendum Pamphlet. What is it and is it useful? So if you're not aware, a referendum is a national vote to change the Constitution. The writers of the Constitution decided that, because it was such an important document that defines the powers of Parliament and the courts, for example, that it wouldn't be up to Parliament itself as to whether or not it could be changed, but would require widespread approval by the public. This means that the public is encouraged to learn about and engage with constitutional change, as it is their responsibility whether or not it succeeds or fails. But this presents a secondary problem. How do we make sure the public is informed? One way this is done is through the Referendum Pamphlet, which is delivered to everyone, and it outlines the arguments for and against the proposed change, with each side getting a maximum of 2,000 words each. But where did it come from, and is it useful? Its origins start in 1912. It was introduced by the government to make sure that people were informed. The Labour government at the time was worried that if the general public just didn't know much about a proposal, they would simply vote it down if they just weren't familiar with it. So they decided, hey, we should create some kind of pamphlet to inform people of the arguments for and against in a referendum. But how to make the content reliable was a big discussion at the time. One proposal was to have an external editor, like a High Court justice, that would review the merits of those cases. This idea didn't gain traction, and ultimately it was decided that it should be up to the members of Parliament themselves to write their respective cases and simply give it to the public to be the judge of its merit. Much like at an election campaign, you are judging the merits of the political parties and their arguments. It was actually argued at the time that the pamphlet shouldn't be edited to be a collection of impartial information, because it was up to the public to judge the arguments, and those arguments should be plainly set forward. Basically, it's two opinion pieces. There's no factual requirement in a referendum pamphlet. It being official just means that it's been endorsed by the members of Parliament who wrote it, with those who voted against the constitutional alteration bill writing the no arguments, and those who voted for the constitutional alteration bill writing the yes arguments. The Attorney General at the time in 1912, Billy Hughes, believed that parliamentarians would write arguments in personal, reasonable, and judicial ways that would appeal to reason rather than emotions and party sentiment. Billy Hughes believed a lot of things. Political campaigning isn't restricted by laws to do with accuracy or truth. Elections and referendums are competitions of ideas, and the free speech of the public and members mean that they are able to view perspectives and ideas as they see fit. It's up to the public as a collective to judge if these arguments have merit and are agreeable or not. And if someone puts forward an obviously false argument, well, it's up to you to decide how you want to respond to that. That doesn't mean that there is no factual content in a referendum pamphlet. I'm not calling members of Parliament liars, I'm just stating that they are opinion pieces, and therefore they might be focused on emotional arguments instead, or there might be some element of debate that can't be objectively proved, etc. Some things can be provable though, so it doesn't hurt to view the pamphlet as a whole through a critical eye and seek external, reliable sources of information to judge and contrast what you learn in the referendum pamphlet. There are many constitutional lawyers and professors who write articles and fact-check and produce video content explaining referendums and the Constitution. So seek out a university near you and see if they've got something. So, look up things like the University of Melbourne and University of Sydney to see if they've published any resources that could help you. There's lots of information available to you to learn more, and it's not like your opinion has to be contained within the 2,000 words of either the yes or no pamphlet, because many people have all sorts of different and complex reasons, just that the pamphlet is an interesting starting point. The referendum pamphlet is expected, but it's not always guaranteed. The pamphlet wasn't created in 1919, 1926, and 1928. So while it is likely you will receive a yes or no pamphlet at a referendum, it's not unheard of for you to just not have one. Another important note about its contents is that the AEC does not endorse its contents, nor do they disendorse them. The AEC, who is delivering it to you, is doing just that, providing you information so that voters can access that information. They do not edit or comment on the contents of those referendum pamphlets because they are politically neutral. They don't have the power or the ability to filter it for truth or accuracy. That's not the job of the AEC. The AEC is not there to get involved in politics, just to enable you as a voter to vote. So if you don't like the contents of any particular argument, don't blame the AEC. They are merely just delivering it to you so you, as an individual, can judge it for its merits. But remember, these are opinion pieces and judge them as such. So just remember that the AEC won't be able to answer questions about specific arguments put forward in the pamphlets, but will be able to answer plenty of questions about how voting in a referendum works. So do check out aec.gov.au for resources on that and up-to-date information about voting and elections. So ultimately, is the referendum pamphlet useful? Well, from a cold statistical point of view, if the idea was, well, if we provide both the yes and no arguments and members of the public are more informed and they're therefore more likely to vote yes, then it hasn't worked. 10 questions in a row were defeated in the years after the pamphlet's introduction. 8 out of 44 referendums, as of time of recording, have succeeded. So, of course, the merits of the pamphlet, and if it's useful or not, are really up to you to judge. Just like the arguments put forward in it are up for you to judge. Perhaps you will find the details informative. Perhaps you will not. At any rate, you will get to understand what it is that members of Parliament want to say and whether you agree or disagree with them on the matter. It's useful in the way that it tells you what the arguments are for and against, at least from a politician's point of view. That's the foundation of democracy. It's a contest of ideas, and the pamphlet is just one of many ways to provide access to those ideas and information. So remember, I always encourage people to research from multiple sources before you vote and come to your own personal views on whatever is being put forward to you. Become informed. It'll make you more confident as a voter, and it'll make sure that that democracy sausage tastes just a little bit better. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you're enrolled to vote, and also thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon and all those who support this channel and free education for everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.